Wet boxes. John 14:14 and 15 says, "If you ask anything in my name, I will do it. If you love me, keep my commandments." The translator met us at the airport and loaded the lessons into a big truck in Moscow, Russia. Igor was in a hurry to get going. The truck had a tarp, but it was flapping in the breeze and the rain began to fall. As we followed this big truck, I saw the rain pouring in on the cardboard boxes of Bible lessons. I was troubled. I said, "Lord, I sold a car to buy all those lessons and print them. Please, Lord, save us. Save those lessons." In 1993, we were on our way to the Ukraine. We were invited by Peter Kulikov to do a Revelation seminar. He was the speaker for the adult meetings, and I was to do the young people's meetings. We had prepared the Russian Bible lesson books with pictures for the children to color, and they were all packed away in the airplane. But now they were in that truck, and the water was filling it up. When we got to the overnight place we were going to stay, and then the next morning get on the train, they took the boxes out of the truck. The truck had filled up with muddy water, and muddy water poured out of the corners of the boxes. I was so upset at God. I said, "You should have taken better care of the things I gave you." And when I opened the box that had just fallen open, I found my nightgown was full of muddy, dirty, yucky water, and I was digging through it, and in the middle I found the sanctuary high priest robes totally dry. And that sparked hope in my heart. I put my hand inside the wet boxes and felt around on the paper lessons where the muddy water had poured out of, and they were dry. I put my hand in another box, dry. Wow. The cardboard outer covering part on some of them had to be replaced, but the rest of them dried, and in the morning were put on the train headed for the Ukraine. The sanctuary set was all intact. Though the box was terribly wet, nothing was destroyed. God had his hand over those. There was orange powder for making juice that had spilled all through that one box that had my nightgown, and it had clung to so many of the clothing items that could be washed, but the high priest outfit was totally dry because it could not be repaired. It could not sustain the kind of scrubbing we had to do to get the orange coloring out. God had worked a great miracle, and my son Lloyd was 7 years old. It was his first mission trip. His eyes saw this. With his own eyes, he saw the power of God working. We set up our sanctuary, and the people in the Ukraine just poured in. We had the room so packed that the moisture from their breaths made the walls just terribly wet, and when we put their pictures up that they drew of the sanctuary, they just fell off. The experience of watching the Lord take care of his things made me ashamed of myself for asking the Lord why he didn't take better care of his things. He had, and I jumped to conclusions based on the muddy water pouring out of the box, thinking that the normal thing had happened to the paper. But the Lord had shown himself strong, as he promises to do, for all whose hearts are perfect towards him. That doesn't mean I think I'm perfect. That means I am perfectly determined to do his will at all cost. I love him very much, and I'm willing to go through any persecution, any trouble, to share the gospel, the beautiful light that he has given us. So he showed himself strong.